Alright, grab your flower book. We're going to turn to lesson 12, compare numbers using place value. That starts on page 112, otherwise look at the board, it should tell you. So let's have one. Comparing numbers using place value. Comparing numbers, you've probably heard in kindergarten, involves crocodile mouths. The crocodile alligator wants to eat the bigger number. That's why I always go like this. Nom nom. Okay. So compare hundreds and tens. Kim and John toss beanbags at a target. What is the greatest number each person can make using the digits they land on? Whose number has more hundreds? So what they're saying is, we don't know what the number is because they just threw beanbags on these boards. So what we do know is that if we draw a place value chart, it said the word hundreds and there's 3 beanbags. So that should be what kind of number? It should be a 3-digit number, okay? So it looks like A says, what is the greatest number Kim can make and why? So we're looking at Kim first. Kim's right here. She's got the red beanbags, okay? We know it has to be a 3-digit number because there's 3 beanbags and it said hundreds. We know that 100 is a 3-digit number. So if it says hundreds, it has to have 3 digits in the number because it has to have a ones, a tens, and a hundreds, okay? But we need to know what number Kim can make. We need to know the biggest number. So the first thing we need to do is find the numbers the beanbags are on. So it looks like the number 2, the number 1, and the number 4. Those are the ones that her beanbags are on. So to find the biggest number she can make, well, first of all, we need to know the biggest number she has. What's the biggest number she has? You should have said 4 because 4 is bigger than 2 and 1. So 4 needs to be in the hundreds because we know that 100 is bigger than 10. And we know that 10 is bigger than 0. So we know that hundreds is bigger than both of those. So we want the biggest number in the biggest spot. What's the next biggest number? You should have said 2. 2 is the biggest number. We wouldn't put it here because that's the smallest digit. Smallest digit, then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we want the 2 in the next biggest spot. So then the 1's the smallest and it goes in the smallest. So what is the greatest? Greatest means biggest. So what is the biggest number, the greatest number Kim can make? Well, she can make 421. So we answered that question, but now it says why. Why is that the biggest number? Well, we just talked about it. Because the 4-digit is the largest Kim got, so we put it in the largest place value, which in this case the largest place value is hundreds. So now it says for B, one of John's beanbags lands outside of the board, so he can only use 2 digits. What is the greatest number John can make? So they're saying this thing does not count. So he can only use 2-digit number. So if we draw a place value chart with only 2 digits, you have a ones and a tens. We don't use hundreds because it's a 2-digit number. So this one we don't use. Only a tens and a ones because it's a 2-digit number. So let's see, he got a 7 and a 9. So what is the largest 2-digit number he can make? Well, we know that 10 is bigger than 0, so we know we want the biggest number in the biggest spot when we're talking about comparing, nom nom nom, and making numbers. It wants the biggest number, okay? So 9 is the biggest. It goes in the tens because 10's bigger than 1. And the smallest one we have right here is 7. So what is the biggest number we can make from his beanbags? 97. Okay. Now, why? Why is that the biggest? Well, the same reason up here. The 9-digit is the largest John got, so we put it in the largest place value. And that largest place value in this case was the tens, because he had no hundreds because he threw that one off the board. Okay, let's look at C. How many hundreds, tens, and ones are in each number? So here's Kim. Remember, we found Kim's number. So how many hundreds are in Kim's number? There's 4 hundreds. Remember when it says the word hundreds, we only want the one. It's just asking for how many hundreds you see, and we saw 4. Not the value of it. It's not asking for values. How many tens did you see in Kim's number? 2 10 sticks. How many ones are in Kim's number? 1. Now let's move to John's. How many hundreds are in John's number? None. He had no hundreds, because hundreds involve a 3-digit number and we only have a 2-digit number. How many tens? He has 9 tens, because in this case 10 is the biggest. The tens place is the biggest because we only have a 2-digit number. And how many ones? 1. So let's look at D. Compare the numbers. Which has more hundreds? So who has more hundreds? Kim or John? You should have said Kim, because John doesn't even have any. So Kim has more hundreds. Okay, so let's look at the next one. When you compare numbers, always start with the greatest place value. Compare the digits in each place. So it's saying when you want to see which number is bigger, you have to go bigger. So we wouldn't start in the ones because ones are the smallest. We would start in the biggest. So in this case, hundreds is the biggest because Kim has hundreds. So 400 is greater than 0 hundreds. So John had absolutely none. He had no hundreds at all. So Kim would automatically have the biggest number because she had 4 hundreds and he had none. So the number with more hundreds is greater. Greater means bigger. So 421 is greater than 97. And that's what they have here. 97 gets the little piece, and 421 is the big guy, so it gets the big mouth. And it says 97 is less than 421, and that's exactly how you'd write it. So 97 is less. That means smaller than 421. And they wrote it just how they have the symbol. You can flip the symbol, and you could put 421 on this side, but whatever side the bigger number is on, that has to have the big mouth. Okay, then you would flip it and say 421 is greater or bigger than 97. So you can flip it, but you got to make sure your mouth is the right way. Making sure this is eating the big number is the most important part. You can use these symbols. This is called less than because of this piece right here. Less than, greater than, and equal to. Equal to means they're the exact same number. Same hundreds, same tens, same ones. So think of this symbol and this symbol as hungry alligator mouths that is always open to eat the greater number. So it wants to eat the big number. So let's talk about this. Why is a 3-digit number always greater than a 2-digit number? So why is a 3-digit number bigger than a 2-digit number? You should have said because they have hundreds. Why is this one smaller than this one? Because they don't have any, you have to have hundreds. 3-digit numbers are way bigger because they have hundreds. So 3-digit numbers have hundreds, and 2-digit numbers only have tens as the biggest place value. Okay. Now, there is, instead of the green book, I'm going to give you a beginner's comparing activity. Okay, it won't be hard. I do not have it at the second. I'm just pre-warning you. It will not be in the green book, but there will be alligator mouths involved. You're comparing, meaning you're seeing which one's bigger, which one's smaller.